I got a chance to sit in to a lengthy brainstorming session with Tyler and others. That was really cool. Can you talk about the process of that, of uh, people pitching ideas and you pitching alternatives or shutting down ideas and just going like plowing through ideas very
I mean, you kind of just described exactly what we did. Yeah.
I mean, but the ideas are really good. It's just tossing out like different categories of ideas and then also fine tuning them to see like how do I change, like thinking about the titles and the thumbnails.
I work so well off of inspiration. It's like that's something like give me any word. I don't know. Make it relative. Space. Yeah, like I went to space. You know, what happens if you blow up a nuke in space? Or I went to the moon. I went to Mars. Right? Because you said that one word, it was able to inspire me to come up with 4 ideas. And so that's just it's for me. If you the way to get 100 million views on videos, you need something original, creative, something people really need to see. Ideally, never been done before. All these like things, and so you need like if you want to consistently go super viral, you need just a constant stream of ideas. And the only way I've really found that I can consistently come up with 100 million view videos is to intake inspiration and then see what my brain outputs. And so that's kind of at its core foundation what I'm doing there. It's just like intaking a lot of random inspiration to see what spawns in my mind so I can output it.
But the neural network of your brain is generating the video, the title, the thumbnail, all like jointly.
Right? Exactly. And that only comes because I spent 10 years of my life just obsessively studying all that stuff.
Because I mean, it seems like you would literally potentially shut down a video just because you can't come up with a good title.
Yeah, or 100%, a good thumbnail. Or a thumbnail. Yeah, I mean, that's what happened to 70% of those in that pitch session. I was just like, oh, what was one of them? Genius versus 100 people or...
Yeah, like maybe average intelligence versus genius or something like that. Or...
Yeah, I was like, what the heck is the thumbnail? Even if the title was good. Yeah. I mean, there's so many, but yeah, if people don't click, they don't watch.
That's so interesting. But you developed over time the ability to kind of give it what makes for a good title? Short?
Not just short. It's also, I mean, if someone reads it, are they like, do they have to watch it? Is it just so intrinsically interesting that it's just going to fuck with them if they don't click on it? You know what I mean?
So it doesn't have to be short, but it has to be like you almost want to have a retention to word by word reading.
Ideally, it's a title also that, you know, because the titles don't live in a vacuum, right? So it has to lead into the content. So ideally, the title represents content that you would want to watch for 20 minutes. So if it's a 20-minute video and the title is I stepped on a bug, it's not going to, because it's all of it combined. The click-through rate is going to be much lower than if it was like a 5-second video. People might click it. So you got to, like, even nuances of the length of the video based against the title will affect whether people want to click it, because sometimes they just all add up. I mean, it's that, yes, ideally you want it below 50 characters, because above 50 characters on certain devices, you run the chance of it going ... So like, I took a light pole and I saw how many dollar bills I could stack on top, and they would just go ... because it's too long and it can't finish it. And that's the worst thing, because then people don't even know what they're clicking on. And so it's going to do even worse. Short, simple, ideally, and just so freaking interesting, they have to click. And it is a good segue into the content, and it represents the length of the content.
And there's probably stuff it's hard to convert into words for you, like I stepped on a bug versus stepping on a bug versus MrBeast stepped on a bug versus.
Well, I mean that
bug stepping.
It's funny you bring that up. So it's like, yes, the more extreme the opinion, typically the higher the click-through rate. If you can like pay it off in the content, then it just supercharges it. So like,
so you have a kind of estimate of the extremeness.
Like this water, right? You're like, Fiji water sucks.
Yeah,
that would do fine. But if you said Fiji water is the worst water bottle, or the worst water I've ever drank in my life, way more extreme opinion would do way better.
But you have to deliver.
Yeah, but then you have to deliver, because the more extreme you are, the more extreme you have to be in the video.
Yeah, that's almost inspiration for you to step up.
Yeah, but you can be more extreme in a positive way. A lot of people. It's easier though. Negative clickbait is much easier than positive clickbait. It just is. It's so much easier to get negative clicks, and so a lot of people are just, in my opinion, a little bit lazier, and they just take the route like, oh, well, this one gets the same amount of clicks, and it's easier, less effort.
The positive one is doing a large number of numbers of something. Like I spent this number of hours doing this.
Or whatever. If you just wanted to help people, right? It's just harder to get 10 million views on a video helping people than it is to get 10 million views on a video tearing down a celebrity. You know what I mean? Or whatever negative video you want to insert there.
Well, that said, most of your videos are pretty positive. Yes. So
But not a lot of people do those kinds of videos because they're hard.
Yeah, they're hard.
Yeah.
Some of that is giving away money, right?
Yeah.
What's the secret to that? How do you do that right?
Yeah.
Like
give away money or
in a video to make it compelling. Is it so? There's a number that is better than another number, right?
The higher number is always better than the lower number. Yeah, for the most part. And it's interesting. Like some videos will give away $1 million, some videos will give away $500,000. There's not really. I guess so. I'm retracting what I just said. I was more joking with that, but there's no difference whether I put 500K or $1 million. There's probably not even really a difference between 100K or $1 million. I haven't really looked into it. Like some of our most of the videos are not us giving away $1 million, and sometimes the $1 million videos just don't do as well as the other ones. So there is a certain point where a dollar amount is just a large dollar amount to an average human, and so I think that point is 100K. Like anything above 100K, the average human is just like that's a lot of money. Like it doesn't 100K and $1 million like doesn't really move the needle, if that makes sense. Which that's a very nuanced piece of information that applies to very few people, but yeah.
Well, no, I think it applies. It's fascinating. It's fascinating. Our relationship with money is fascinating. Like, why is it so exciting to get? I mean, the times I've found like $20 in the ground are like incredible.
Really?
I don't know why, right? Why?
Really?
Why are you so happy? Like, what exactly is so joyful about that? I mean, it depends where you are in life, what the situation is. Yeah, I don't know. There's also a gamified aspect to it. It's exciting.
Yeah,
it's fun.
No, I get it. Like why people want to see people win money. It's just interesting that past 100 grand, it doesn't really seem to make a difference. Like it's the same basically.
So you found that to be true with all the money you've given away. That
just in click through rate. Like obviously, in terms of someone receiving it, $1 million changes their life drastically more. Like that's the difference. Like if you wanted to, you could really quit your job. As opposed to 100K is like not really.
You probably do like a scientific study, like a formula, giving away money to click through rate.
Yeah,
there could be some kind of diminishing return.
It definitely the returns level off dramatically after 100K. That's 100K. Basically the premise.
What about 10,000?
No, there's 100,000. It's funny because this is such a small niche thing, but yeah, 100,000 does it from what I see in our videos get more clicks than 10,000. But the difference between 100,000 and $1 million is just so little. I think big number to a lot of people past that point.
Yeah, so for 100,000, you can like give an average salary, you can probably live for a year, given what the average salary is in America. So that's like that feels.
Yeah, I think it's also just more when they read the title. It's just like it's a lot of zeros. It's like fuckloads of zeros. Okay, click.
Yeah. Oh man, that's fascinating. So on the thumbnail side, again, that's going to be much harder to say probably. But offline, I got a chance to look at a bunch of thumbnails, and it's fascinating which ones do well and which ones don't. Is there something you could say about what are the elements of a thumbnail that work well? Yeah. Or is this also deeply instinctual?
Well, that's where, it's the same thing. Like, how do you cook good food? But it's easier if you pull up a thumbnail and I could be like, that's why that's good. That's why that's bad. That's like an example would be like one of my friends, he just uploaded a video recently and I called him. I was like, what is this? Because he's a very, very smart guy. And in the thumbnail, he's getting chased by cops, but the cops were wearing yellow vests. So they didn't look like cops. So I was like, well, why are the cops in your thumbnail wearing yellow vests? It's like, that makes it so much more boring. Yeah. And he was like carrying a flag, but the pole and the color of the flag were the same color. So it's like, it's a little harder to see the flag. I was like, also you're wearing like a shirt with like 5 different colors. Like, so it's like, it's hard to tell what your outline is. And then in the background, there are cars. And I was like, well, if you have cops chasing you, why not make the cars cop cars? And, and it's like, cause in my head, I'm like, dang, if you just did those like 4 or 5 things, the video probably would have got like 7x the views.
How much iteration? Because I also got a chance to see the number of iterations you do on just a random thumbnails.
It's a problem now. It's an addiction.
Is it? So you kind of, because a lot of the versions were really good.
Yeah.
How do you know when to like?
I love how when we pulled up that the burger one and we were flipping through them, you're like, that's really good. I was like, oh, that's version like 1 of like 1,000.
But even the sketch, the idea was good. Like already, even the original idea is strong.
Yeah, so one of our coming up videos, we made the world's largest plant-based burger, and the thumbnail we were thinking is like me standing beside the burger because it's 6 feet tall. That's what he's talking about. So like just picture a giant 6 foot tall burger, super wide, thousands of pounds, and then I'm beside it, and then it's like eating the world's largest burger. Like that's just something you have to click. Like so you were saying like how would you describe a good thumbnail? Like that, you know what I mean? Like,
but I think you said the one I noticed first that was good where you were very small in it. relative to the, and you didn't like that one. I
I
think.
needed to come forward a little bit, and also the photo we took was just my upper body.
Yeah.
So they photo manipulated and created my legs in Photoshop, and that's why I said I didn't like it, because my right leg was a little like off. It was like bent the wrong way because
you
I
noticed
had
those,
to build
yeah.
those legs in Photoshop.
Well, I mean, does the physics in a thumbnail have to even make sense? I mean, you can just like exaggerate the head size and all that kind of stuff, right?
100%. Yeah, things don't have to be relative.
Yeah.
You can have a car in the background and be 3 times the size. Because every one of my thumbnails, my face is in the left side, very big. So brand recognition, so just people know. Oh, especially because now that a lot of people copy our videos, it's just nice to like, everyone else might make thumbnails like this, but this is mine.
Yeah.
And obviously, we usually over deliver and do bigger stuff.